You should never eat toothpaste.
Or should you?
I'm Malcolm from Rutledge, Georgia. Let's talk about that.
Good Mythical Morning.
This episode is brought to you by the Rhett and Link Kommunity. Join up and then converse with other mythical beasts and make mythical creations.
Thanks to the many of you who have already made that animation of my incredible idea from last week, the ramp, the elevator / ramp to the UK.
You called your idea incredible?
Oh, it's totally incredible, especially when I saw it come to life.
Yeah, it is not credible. So in the strictest sense of the word incredible, and I think the animations prove that it is definitely incredible or non-credible.
The animations made me think that maybe we should actually make this happen as a community.
So that idea was inspired by Mythical Perspectives submitted by you people on our Facebook and on our Twitter account. And lo and behold, it's Friday and we're doing it again. It's an opportunity for you to dictate the conversation of this episode of GMM, or I guess next Friday's episode, by telling us your perspective or opinion on something.
Not a question. A lot of you are still asking questions. It's not a question that we then answer. It's your perspective, your opinion about something, and then we talk about it as a group. So if you format it in the right way, we might use it in an episode. Let's get started with Shannon McDonald. She says, "What's always bothered me is how there's a D in fridge, but not refrigerator."
First of all, this is news to me. There is not a letter D in the word refrigerator.
No, see, it's spelled like that. Refrigerator, okay. Refrigerator.
Right, but the word fridge does have it. Okay. She thinks it should be added. Okay, done. It's added. There's now a D in refrigerator, at least amongst us.
Well, that's how it works in the postmodern era, you know?
Hey,
we just declared it to be true.
Loosey-goosey, whatever you want, however you want to spell it. As long as when you read it, you can understand it. Mission accomplished, right? Refrigerator. Refrigerator.
If that happened, a refrigerator would become someone who refrigs on a regular basis. But I don't even know what refrigs means. It means to frig again.
Right. Friggin'.
Wow.
Friggin' awesome.
Nick Starr. He says, I think that there needs to be, well, we use this one because it was also about refrigerator. And he spelled refrigerator correctly, as in without the D.
Oh, which is now incorrectly.
Yeah.
Ooh, get with the program, Nick.
But he sent this before we changed the rule.
But still, get with the program, Nick. You should have foreseen that we were going to add the D in this community.
Nick says, I think that there needs to be a refrigerator.
Uh-huh.
Where you don't need to take things out to reach the back. Maybe the inside could be on a pole and rotate around like those store displays.
So like a Lazy Susan. Like my grandma had a Lazy Susan in the middle of the dining room table, and it was just this like Tupperware looking piece of plastic. And it had salt and pepper on it, but it was about this big. And I think it was supposed to go in a cabinet. But she put it on the table so that, and then it would have the salt and pepper on it, and you would turn it, but it would only save you about 6 inches of reach.
But you don't have to pass the pepper, you spin the pepper.
But it was supposed, I didn't have the heart to tell her, and I still don't, that...
Well, she might be watching. She has a computer now. Don't you remember?
Well, no, this is Nanny. Nana has a computer. Nanny
Talk all you want about Nanny.
So Nanny... it's supposed to go in the cabinet because you can't reach around. But on the table, it doesn't really serve a function.
But we're talking about it being
like salt and pepper.
In a refrigerator.
Or being the refrigerator. The refrigerator, you open the door and the whole thing is turning. That's a great idea. It's not very economical.
You mean as you open, the light comes on and it turns?
And it's motorized.
That's very excessive. And that wastes a lot of energy. I think you could have the option of spinning it, but then you've got the corners. You have to have like butter corners and like things that little eggs could sit on in the corners where the circle doesn't fill in.
For those, you'd push a button and they would just launch out at you. Like eggs would be launched out.
Like Inspector Gadget, like on a spring. Boing, here's some eggs.
Well, no, you'd have to catch them. So you press the button and so it's good for ninjas. It's still a good idea, but just for ninjas.
Yeah, okay, I like that. The Lazy Susan refrigerator.
Eggs.
Kevin Hilty says, I think that there should be a toothpaste that contains a full meal's nutritious value in every brushful. I think that's the first time I've ever seen the word brushful. That way you could eat and brush your teeth at the same time. It would be efficient, frugal, and also quite tasty.
Now, I love ideas that are efficient, frugal, and tasty.
Okay.
So Kevin has got my vote here. You know, he gets the Mythical Best Award this week.
Well, I have
giving that out.
I have some fundamental issues with this idea.
You don't like it?
Well, because in order for it to be tasty, think about like hamburger flavored toothpaste. What I'm doing in my mouth is I'm getting rid of things. Like there's a film and there's tartar and there's plaque that's on my mouth in the morning, right?
Well, and there's also hamburger in your mouth already.
No, and then I want to get it out. So I want to excise the stuff and spit it into a sink. I don't want to excise all this gunk and then be like, you know, it tastes like hamburger. I'm going to eat all the stuff that I just removed from my teeth. It seems nasty to me. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, but it's all about your expectations. It's nasty. It's like wanting to get a can of Coke, but instead you get a chocolate milk and you drink it, and that's horrible because you expected a carbonated beverage. You didn't expect chocolatified milk.
But if you knew it was pizza flavored toothpaste,
yeah, pizza. And
it just doesn't seem like it's something. Now, first of all,
brushing my teeth with pizza. That's awesome. If you're expecting it.
Did you know? Read your toothpaste label. It will say, if swallowed, call a physician or call poison control, because there's poison in toothpaste. And this was news to me.
No, there's not.
There is poison in toothpaste. Look it up on your toothpaste right now. It will say, if you have normal toothpaste with fluoride in it, it will say, if swallowed, call, or if more than a certain amount is swallowed, call someone who can help you, like poison control. So when Shepard was like
phone a friend.
When Shepard was like 18 months old, we found him with, like he had basically been squirting this stuff like it was Velveeta. You know what I mean? Basically it was, I found the mint flavored stuff, you know, and we were like, what are we going to do? I didn't really think anything about it. I was like, it's toothpaste. And Jessie was like, no, because, you know, moms know everything about this kind of thing. She's like, toothpaste is poison. So we called poison control.
Toothpaste is not poison.
We've called poison control like 7 times between the two children. But she calls poison control and the lady's like, how much did he have? And we're like, we don't have any idea how much he had. He's like just sitting there like a gangster with this thing up in his mouth. We have no idea.
Aqua Fresh, punk. Get out my face. I'm eating the Aqua Fresh.
And so I was like...
they call me MC Aqua Fresh.
We have no idea how much he ate, but she said, well, you need to be on the lookout for the following signs. Like if he starts having a seizure or if he becomes unresponsive. I was like, yeah, we'll let you know. We won't call you back if that happens. We'll call the ambulance.
But she validated that it could be potentially poisonous, but it does give me an idea.
But he was fine. He ended up being fine because I think you have to get a lot of it in you.
I think gangsters should replace their gats with toothpaste. Yeah, yo, stay out my face. I'ma get you with my Aqua Fresh. Blah, 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 blah. And just squirt the toothpaste in your face, yo. Don't you be swallowing that. Hey.
I wouldn't be intimidated by that.
This is my gangster. I'm a gangster with toothpaste.
Luke Miller.
Yeah.
And we're going to close out with Luke Miller. He says, my mythical perspective, they should genetically make pocket-sized dogs or cats.
Huh.
They've already done that. They're called hamsters.
No, this is a good idea. Like I might want a little miniaturized kitten in my pocket.
Well, first of all, they're already actively doing this. Don't you realize that they've made dogs and cats as small as they can be, and they're continually trying to make them smaller. I mean, they try to make them really big too. That's what a Great Dane is. That's not normal. They genetically engineered these things. Well, they bred them, you know.
So you're saying they've gotten as small as they can get? That's your opinion?
I don't know what the smallest dog in the world is, but the point of it was this guy's idea. It's not original. They've made it as small as it can be. If you want to go smaller, you got to get like a hamster.
This is not the place to say what and what isn't possible. I just think, or even plausible. I just say it's awesome.
But you get them too small.
It's friggin' awesome.
If you get them too small, they can't even function. You know, just
Hamsters
like if you get them too big. Well, a hamster's not a small dog. It's an actual different animal. I was joking.
Oh.
But the problem with small pets in general is they get lost. My first pet ever was a hamster, Pokey. And Pokey got lost for 4 weeks inside our own house. And we found him in my sleeping bag, and he was eating pieces of the liner of the sleeping bag to survive. I guess there's some nutritional value in it. But we found him and we put him back in his cage, and I've
heard that it's poisonous.
But I mean,
that poison control.
If you have a pocket-sized
poison
cat,
control, my hamster Pokey ate my sleeping bag.
I don't think there's not a pet poison control. Well, there probably is actually.
Yeah,
there should be.
Should be.
But if you get a pocket-sized cat, you like put him in the laundry by accident. You know what I mean? That's the problem. They get too small, and you begin misplacing them. It's like, it's not like you left a dollar bill in your pants. You left your cat in your pants. Well, and then he gets washed.
But then people would be losing all types of small animals, like hermit crabs all the time. You don't lose your hermit crab all the time.
You don't carry you don't pet hermit crabs.
Yeah, you do.
Like you pet a cat.
But you
Pocket
could.
cat.
You could.
Pocket cat. That'll be a meme.
Pocket cat.
Let's spin the wheel. Submit your perspective on Twitter at Rhett and Link, #GMM, or on our Facebook page. Perspective, opinion, not a question.
See, the gangsters would eat the toothpaste to prove that they were impervious to poison, and then they blat it at you as a weapon. Sad face, happy ending. So we look sad, but we say things that are happy. It's like patting your...
I can't do this kind of thing.
Patting your head and rubbing your tummy, which is hard to do.
First of all, it's difficult for me to look sad. This has been the best. This has been the best experience of my life.
I'm so happy right now to have shared this with you. I'm just
hearing these perspectives brings a joy to my soul.
We seem like we're moved to tears instead of just being sad. I'm so happy. All I can do is say I'm happy, and then
I'm overjoyed.
See you next week.